Africa produces nearly 70% of the world's cocoa, but makes almost none of the chocolate. Here's the $100 billion reason why. Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire grow most of the world's cocoa beans, yet almost all of the chocolate manufacturing happens outside of Africa. But this isn't an accident, it's by design. European colonial powers set up a system where Africa exports raw materials while Europe processes them into high-value products. When Europeans introduced cocoa to Africa in the 1820s, they built railways that only connected cocoa farms to ports for raw export. But the real trap came through tariffs, where European governments imposed massive taxes on processed chocolate products, while keeping raw cocoa bean exports tax-free, making it impossible for African countries to compete in manufacturing. While there is some local manufacturing today, the challenges of poor infrastructure and the size of investment needed makes it difficult for African countries to build their own chocolate factories at scale. So today, African farmers earn just 6% of the $100 billion chocolate industry's profits, while companies like Nestle and Mars capture most of the value thousands of miles away.
Okay, there's a lot of BS in this video, but I'm going to mostly focus on the aspect of the comments. This one said Europeans did not introduce cocoa to Africa. I'm sorry, young lady, they actually did. Cocoa actually originated from South America, okay? They introduced cocoa to Africa and started farming it commercially. They did that. Doesn't matter your opinions do not change facts. This one says value adding. Europe and America rely on Africa's resources to make profit. Again, I don't know what resources you're talking about or what quantity of resources. Is this same argument about resources? Still doesn't make sense to me. They stop African countries from producing their own chocolate and exporting. What do you mean by stop African countries from producing their own chocolate? Are you saying that you cannot literally buy plots of land, grow cocoa, process it and make your own chocolate? Who's stopping you from producing and exporting it? That's a problem. You want to export it to Europe. Europeans they have the right to control what comes into their country. Why not produce it and sell it to your people? I've never seen a single Nigerian that turned down a free chocolate bar. We love chocolate as much as the Europeans do. So let's produce for our own country. We cannot stop ourselves from selling to ourselves. He says it's just another wicked betrayal, another deliberate attempt by the West to keep Africa poor and themselves rich. Again, the same lame and ignorant argument. And this one said, Ivory Coast has the most cacao trees. Africans had discovered it before Europeans introduced it to them. How does that even make sense? That's the problem with people sometimes. You have to simply follow the facts. Cocoa was introduced by the West to Africa. No matter how many times you say it to yourself in the mirror, it's not going to change the fact of the case. It is what it is. Accept it. Okay, now I'm going to end with this guy's comment. And it says, okay, it's time to stop blaming colonial powers for everything. Every time when I see posts like this, I always look out for this kind of, comments whereby you see actually it's like a ray of sunshine, in the whole misty darkness of ignorance. It says, it's time to stop blaming the colonial powers for everything. The one thing stopping Africans from building an OPEC-like cocoa cartel is corruption and incompetence. If you think that you're being cheated out of the cocoa value system, form a cartel, protect the industry, protect your farmers.